Hello. I like today to make iPad cake by popular demand, and I'm happy to do it. And I saw the it's interesting cake to make. And what we do is we started from simple thing, like we're using a rectangular tin, which is I write size and everything in the description box, and we use one box of butter cake. As you can see, it's come out because we use a quite large rectangular pan, baking pan, so it's come not very thick, it's quite thin, so it's kind of resemble a new iPad. But if you have a bigger party to go, a bigger birthday or party, you probably have to use the two butter cakes to make it a little bit larger and enough cake for everyone. So what we do is, once it's baked and cooled, we level top and flip over. Now it's ready. What we do is now, I use a classic chocolate frosting, but you can use any frosting of your choice, as well as a cake. You don't have to use butter cake. You can use any your favorite cake mixes. Once you finish applying chocolate frosting, we're using one box of ready to roll icing, which is I took it from packet. We do have to knead to make sure it's become soft and manageable, and now we can roll it, turning quite often on a surface of powdered, sprinkle with powdered sugar, and once it's look bigger in size that your cake, we will flip over on our cake. Once we flip over our ready to roll icing, put a little bit powdered icing sugar on your hands and start looking from top. What we want to make is nice and straight. What you do is you just straighten up all angles, and always using powdered icing sugar because it's easier for shape cake. Once you're happy with outcome, what we do is we trim it far sides first, then we can bring up a little bit closer and we trim closer to our cake to shape it. Once we finish with trimming our ready to roll icing, next is what we do. We take our toothpick, find about middle. It does not have to be exactly, but just sort of to give you guidance. So this is a middle, so we want to find middle of this part, and then that's middle of left part from the middle, so that's be 1/4 of left middle. That's varies. We draw just a line, make sure we're able to see it. What we do is with this side of cake, we actually will not color. We only making a logo of the iPad apple. So we just draw a simple actual apple here, and later we write some words iPad. So working with the right side, which is 1/2 of a cake and 1/4 of it. That's what we work with. So what we do is we take around 2 centimeters from top and bottom and draw a line. Then we take 1.5 centimeter to the left and to the right. That's our borders. And what we do is next we start working on our colors. We using today is blue liquid food coloring and black liquid food coloring. We apply the blue on top and darker and black on the bottom. With this little platform up here, we will using white gel food coloring, which is we place it, we just put tiny bit on a plate, and then we can take a little bit with our toothpick of black gel food coloring. We mix together to make gray color, to make it a little bit more realistic, and we make a little platform here. So once we apply all this sort of stuff, what we do is next we will use a little bit of white gel food coloring to just make a little bit patterns, just a small patterns. Just started from a middle. This will be a little bit black. We'll mix it all together, and here slightly will be lighter color. We'll mix with a white gel food coloring. Outline your patterns of a logo of a iPad Apple with the food decorating pen, which is we use black. I just outline and not fill the up color yet, and I write it iPad as well. So what we do, this is black all done nicely, and what is as you can see, it's not quite set yet. So we make this light gray platform. We mix all colors together, blue and black and white, to create different sorts of colors. So what we do is we just simply continue to create some sort of pattern of a waves or bubbles, which is you basically prefer. So we'll not be making too much, just a little bit, just especially on bottom part, just a slightly visible one. Now if we, as you can see, seems like a bit too strong here, so what we do, we just let's blend in on top first, and we're working on the final patterns. We just slightly blend in to making this sort of look is a little bit softer. So what we do is next, let's color our apple. Once you finish decorate main patterns, I thought to make it this cake a little bit different. Instead of painting too much and everything, just make it a little bit easier. So what I done is I got a box of licorice all sorts. As you can see, it's white ones inside, and I actually got just a homebread from Coles. As you can see, they have white ones in plenty of sort of white tops as well. So you take in one of those tops and cut it with your knife, and here you are. It's a perfect button for iPad. So what we do is next, we just take one of those buttons, and we're using food decorating pens, different color of course, and we simply draw on top of the white licorice squares all our buttons. You can draw just to have only favorite buttons, or you can draw all buttons, which is you prefer basically. So what we do is, here we are. This is our button. It's perfectly ready, and it's very easy to do as well. So I actually find it home brand licorice is better to decorate that more fancier brand. Well, what we do, if your cake is still wet, mine is still wet, so I will place right on top. But if yours not, so what you do, if your cake already dry out by time when you was doing buttons, or you can do buttons simply day before, which is makes much easier for you and save time. But if your cake is dry by time when you decided to make it button same time, use black decorating icing and place all buttons simply according to our basically design. So we start place them. Now our cake is ready, and as you can see, I place all the buttons or apps, we call them apps, yes. We call all our squares for the our iPad, and I find that this licorice, once you cut it off white part and basically separately draw patterns, it's much easier and faster as well. And well, I hope you do really like this a little bit different iPad cake. Please do write your ideas, subscribe, and love to hear from you. Until next time, goodbye.